Hi, good morning. Welcome
morning.
to the Morning Dish. Another round of discussion and news. What do we say?
Newness.
Newness.
We have newness for you.
So the latest and greatest and controversial is the Oscar Grant verdict.
Oh gosh, yes.
So back in New Year's Day of 2009, Oscar Grant was shot and killed by a BART police officer. The verdict just came in last week saying that it was involuntary manslaughter. So he's going to get anywhere between 2 and 10 years of a sentence, possibly
Something
a little
like
bit
that,
more.
2 or 4, yeah.
How do we feel about this? Do we feel like this is a just sentence for the crime or the action that was committed?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm kind of torn between it, honestly, because I see the police brutality, and I really feel in this case the involuntary manslaughter is the right decision in this case. That is the right verdict. I don't really feel like this particular BART officer maliciously meant to kill Oscar Grant. And so with that being said, I think this was a fair sentence. I don't think he really meant to kill him. I really do think it was an accident. You know, it was stated that he shot Oscar Grant thinking that he pulled out his taser gun. I can see how that can happen. I do. Now, looking at the tape, you know, which is a totally different sidebar and a totally different question, is even pulling out the taser the right
action
to take towards it. And I say no to that. No.
Right, and that's my issue with his sentencing. He can be apologetic, and I do believe his apology is sincere. I do believe it. This is the problem. What made you pull out the taser in the first place?
Right.
You have your suspect, you have your person restrained on the floor, like held down by the neck by another police officer's knee. Why do you think you need to even take it the step further to pull out the taser? And what are you doing that you can't tell the difference between the taser and your gun?
Right. I mean, I agree.
I don't believe that defense, but neither did the jury.
Yeah.
Because he's apparently facing another 3 to 10 years because they don't believe that he should have even pulled that out.
Yes, the U.S. Justice Department has reopened a civil rights case against him.
Right.
The BART officer, because they don't believe like that he should have even had the thought to pull out his taser.
And
I totally agree with that. You know, but the fact that he shot him with his gun, I believe is involuntary manslaughter, because yes, he killed a man, but I don't think he maliciously tried to kill this man, and that he went after to kill this, and that's my,
and that's what makes it murder or
and
manslaughter.
That's my true fair assessment of the case, you know.
But we're
and I think that's a fair, you know, and I think that is a very fair sentence. You know, a lot of people say that, you know, he's a murderer and, you know, he murdered him, and I don't really think it's that cut and dry or that black and white. He had no reason to, one, pull out a taser, let alone a gun, yes, but I don't think his actions were malicious or in thought to want to kill Oscar Grant. So that's why I totally agree with the involuntary manslaughter.
Fine, I agree with that, but I still just don't understand why he had to take it the next step. Like, we can't get away from this police brutality, and people wonder why, you know, this youth is so anarchy and against police and against this, because they do stuff like this. They take it to a level that doesn't need to be taken to.
And it did it, because
you see this case after case after case. You've got Sean Bell, you have Amadou Diallo, you have this woman in Seattle. Like, you have all these cases.
Well, in the Sean Bell case,
take it steps too far, and when can we stop?
In the Sean Bell case, though, I will say this: I totally believe, without a doubt, that was straight up malicious murder.
And I agree.
Malicious. To pump somebody 50 times with bullets when they are unarmed in their car, that is blatantly
disrespect. Got something out for somebody.
Yeah, disrespect for someone else's life, and that's how I view that, because he's unarmed. And you're in a plain clothes and undercover detective, you know? You should be investigating a little bit more if he's an armed suspect or if he's not. And if you're investigating him by being plain clothes and undercover, you should already know that you
what
can
he's
approach.
carrying with him.
Exactly. So there shouldn't be no need to shoot someone 50 times. If he's that dangerous of a person, you would have the SWAT team out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That, I mean,
Like, that was totally
it was
unjust.
completely, and he was acquitted, which the two of them were acquitted and all charges were dropped, which is horrendous.
Yeah, I don't see how that's even possible.
Horrendous. I don't
Yeah.
even see how that's possible, but it keeps happening.
It does keep
keeps
happening.
coming up in every day.
Every day-
You
every-
see a new story.
Another
You've got
story.
this woman in Seattle who's getting arrested for jaywalking.
Jaywalking. Who gets arrested for jaywalking?
I can't even begin to talk about, figure that one out at all, but okay. So this woman, not even the woman that he's arresting, he punches in the face
Yes.
because he can't control.
Yes.
And yes, she's
Totally
resisting.
wrong.
She's resisting arrest, and the other person is coming in, and she's slapping her hands. Okay, A, you don't play slap happy with a cop.
No, not at all. You just
You know what I mean?
stand there and let it. It will be over. Just
It will be over. If,
Keep your peace.
You know, yes.
keep your peace, people.
In peace and love we trust.
Absolutely. But again,
But a police
Unnecessary.
officer, you don't know what you're doing, but you have to clock somebody.
Exactly.
You have to take your right hand, close your fist, and clock somebody.
that's the wrong way to
That's not
detain
even
someone.
how you control anybody as a police officer. If you're supposed to be this this position of authority in the public figure, that's how you go about containing your crowd and controlling your crowd. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought his method was totally wrong. I'm not agreeing with punching any type of civilian for police brutality. That's not the way it is. Yes, the young lady in the video was totally wrong for trying to resist arrest. Totally wrong. You don't resist arrest.
Not on that level.
Even if you are right and you're just standing there, don't resist.
The truth will set you free.
Yes, don't resist, because that's just making your case worse. And so in her defense, that made her case worse. Whether she had a prior record, that's irrelevant.
decide.
That's irrelevant. That had nothing to do with her jaywalking. I mean, come on.
So I
That's
can't-
a city citation, not being punched in the face and being arrested.
I really don't want to laugh at it, but jaywalking.
Like, for him to say, let me just stop these people because they're jaywalking. That is
Because
such
they
a
didn't use the
horrific crime.
crosswalk.
It's such a horrific crime, and there is nothing else going on in Seattle that I need to be looking for. but
Right. I think I can name
jaywalking.
5 things that are much more important to be dealing with in
But-
Seattle than jaywalking.
But more importantly, I
it's
feel like
police brutality.
it's police brutality, and it only happens in our community. It only happens in the urban community. You know, you're not hearing cases in Greenwich, Connecticut that, police brutality is going on at the local park because kids are being a little bit too rowdy. That's the problem I'm having. They
Right.
find their way on any major MLK street here in urban America, people, and, that is what it is, and that's what goes
And
down.
that is the problem.
And that's the problem. It only happens in our community.
You can't
And-
say it only happens, but that is the major. I agree. I'm with it. But I don't think you can say it only happens.
No, it doesn't only happen because
There's
and
a lot of different communities out there that have.
and not only here, but it happens
that's
in other
irrelevant.
countries as well.
Yes.
There's cases in London and cases in Switzerland. I've been reading, so I know it's happening.
But I mean, yes, the issue is racial profiling.
Absolutely.
And just profiling for anyone.
And if you look at the culture of it, police brutality here in this country and how it stems from, it has a lot to do with racial tension.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely.
And that's why police brutality is such and we as African Americans take it a little bit more to heart than other people here in this country. Not to say it hasn't happened elsewhere, but yeah, it's a little bit more sensitive to us. You know what I'm saying? Because our grandfathers, grandmothers were being hosed down in the 60s during the civil rights movement, things of that nature, where it was so prevalent and it was okay for dogs to chase after us. So yeah, it touches a little bit home that it should not still be happening to a 17-year-old girl.
To
walking,
anybody. To anybody. A
And that's what I'm
17-year-old
saying.
girl walking down the
Anywhere.
street, a 20-year-old guy being held down. It shouldn't happen anywhere, and it's so disheartening that we haven't even been able to move forward as a human race.
Yeah.
That we can't get over this. It does. It's incredibly disheartening.
So let's open it up. What do you guys think about that? Let us know. tweet in at the morning dish.
The morning dish.
There it is. Let us know what you think. We're really interested. I don't know. It's an ongoing topic.
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, something that needs to change, but it has to take us having these type of discussions and getting our voices out there. So
let's conversate.
all right.
Cut.
Yeah.